Dear friends, grace and peace to you this Easter weekend. Christ is risen. Today, the most important thing I can do is to read the Easter story to you, and that's what I'll do. From Mark 16, verses 1 through 8. When the Sabbath was over, Mary Magdalene and Mary, the mother of James, and Salome bought spices so that they might go and anoint him. And very early on the first day of the week, when the sun had risen, they went to the tomb. They had been saying to one another, "Who will roll away the stone for us when we get to the tomb?" And when they looked up, they saw that the stone, which was very large, had already been rolled away. As they entered the tomb, they saw a young man dressed in a white robe sitting on the right side. And they were alarmed. But he said to them, "Do not be alarmed. You're looking for Jesus of Nazareth, who was crucified. He has been raised. He's not here. Look, there is the place they laid him. But go, tell his disciples and Peter that he is going ahead of them to Galilee, and there you will see him, just as he told you." So they went and fled from the tomb, for terror and amazement had seized them, and they were afraid. This is the Easter Gospel. Thanks be to God. The first reaction of the women who came to the tomb that first Easter morning was being eager and anticipating, and a calm faith. But they became confused and fearful. They'd come to honor Jesus in their grief, trying to accept that Jesus had died. They did not anticipate that the tomb would be empty, even though Jesus had spoken of new life. I don't believe it was a lack of faith, but simply no one had ever dreamed that one could die and be raised to bodily new life, the other side of the grave. No explanation, just that God fulfills God's promise. Easter changes everything. Easter is God's victory over evil. Easter is God's victory over that ultimate of evil, death itself. The Apostle Paul writes in Romans, "For if we have been united with him in a death like his, we shall certainly be united with him in a resurrection like his." Resurrection is good news that assures us there is a greater power over death in life. Easter reminds us that in Christ we are a new creation. And while we can't fully explain it, but in faith we begin to trust that God's grace and love and care for us is for all of us. And we are called to walk by faith. Easter doesn't call us to live in a different world, but to live in the world differently. For God in Christ is walking with us right now, right here. A blessed Easter to you. This is Chaplain Clark.